Today we are at the River Walk, and we're looking at a statue of Sir Winston Churchill. Wasn't he on that TV show that you were watching on Netflix? The Queen?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're at the River Walk. We're gonna do the Creole King. That's the one right there, no? Creole King. We're gonna do the Creole King boat ride later. So we're just gonna walk around right there. So when we get there, we're about to get on this river. Yeah, the River Walk.
It's mine actually. Let's see which one we're doing.
Hara's up there, Sheraton. There's the Mississippi Bridge. The Mississippi Bridge. We're doing the walking along the river next to the mall. Can't really see nothing though. So just waiting on this cruise. Now we're inside the mall. Walking around the Riverwalk Mall.
Check it out right here, see, baby. Can't you see that you're leading me on? And that's just...
We're about to do this, man. We've been on this before when Genesis was in dance class. Well, whatever it's called. But that was about 5 years ago. 5 or so. I don't remember. It was a while back. But we on here. Woo! Got the tickets. We're on the boat. On the boat. Get back to you when we set sail. We in the lunch cabin on the boat.
You know I can't stand it. You running around. You know
The bar back there. We chilling in the air conditioning.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn the microphone over to our historian and narrator on board, Dr. Lauren Tarantino.
back and forth across
We
the
are off.
river, moving people and then cars. And
We're
now
moving,
back to people
Abigail.
movers as we're using these crew boats. And they can get you back and forth across the Mississippi in about 8 minutes for only about $2. Ladies and gentlemen, looking to the left of the boat again, you'll see a large green glass building that is the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas. Lots of fun to do with kids in the afternoon when it's really too hot to be outside. They do have an insectarium inside as well. And the aquarium is a sister aquarium for the Audubon Zoo, which is located just a few short streetcar stops down St. Charles Avenue. Looking just ahead of us to the left in the water, you will see the city of New Orleans. And no, obviously, I'm not talking about the actual city. I am, in fact, talking about that boat right there in the water. The city of New Orleans and its sister boat, the Natchez, are two of the other paddle wheels located here on the river. And they are permanently stationed right next to Jack's Brewery. Yep, we named a brewery after a president. We really like Andrew Jackson here in New Orleans, and hopefully by the end of this trip, you'll see why. Just on the other side of the brewery, you can see a steeple. That is the steeple for the St. Louis Cathedral. Originally built in 1718 as St. Louis Church. finished to look the way that it does now in 1857. It is the oldest cathedral and the oldest minor basilica in the United States. A basilica, by the way, is a cathedral where a pope has said mass, and John Paul was here in 1987. On either side of the cathedral, and we can't see them just yet, but we will see them in just a minute. To the right is the presbytere. To the left is the cabildo. The presbytere is the original priest house. The cabildo is the original Spanish seat of government. Now I say original, but neither one of these buildings are the actual original buildings. Both of those burned in the fire of 1788. However, the presbytere was built in 1791 and the cabildo in 1795, so still pretty old. Both of them are museums now, owned by the Louisiana State Museum System, and you can get to see both for about $15 total. Ladies and gentlemen, when the boat lines itself up with those steps coming in out into the water, you're going to want to get that shot. That is one of the most iconic photographs you can get of Jackson Square, lined up with the statue of Andrew Jackson. That statue, by the way, weighs 20,000 pounds and is made entirely out of melted down British cannons.
Wow.
When the British left here in 1815, they were running.
They said when you line
and they
up with
left
the
all their
steps.
cannons here. We gathered them up, melted them down, made 4 statues, one here, one in D.C., one in Jacksonville, Florida, and one in Nashville, Tennessee. If you are midship to back of ship, that's your shot. You might want to go ahead and get that one right there. It's okay if you missed it though, ladies and gentlemen. There's about 1 million of them online. On either side of the square, you can see 2 large red buildings. Those are the Pentalva apartment buildings, built by the Baroness Pentalva in 1845. They are the oldest apartment buildings in the United States. She was well loved by family and friends, just not her father-in-law. When she told him she no longer wanted to have babies after she had already had 5, he got mad and shot her 4 times.
Wow.
She lived. He did not. After thinking he had committed murder, he went ahead and committed suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, looking to the left of the boat right now, you will see a large green building. That is the Governor Nichols Street Wharf. It marks the technical end of the French Quarter. However, it is wharves and docks and warehouses, much like this one, that have made it possible for the people of New Orleans to go ahead and tame the mighty Mississippi River and help it to make us into the booming economic cities that we are today. But now, the rest of the story. The year
This is a
is
smooth ride, too.
1541, and the first European to sail down the mighty Mississippi River is a man named Hernandez de Soto. He sails for Spain. He's very interested in building a city on the river. However, de Soto will leave the river, and no one will come back, from Europe anyway, for 177 years. The next gentleman to sail down the mighty Mississippi River is a man named Robert LaSalle. The year is 1688, and he sails for France. LaSalle, too, wants to build a city on the river. However, LaSalle will also leave the river. He's going to go back to France and tell the king he wants more money and more men and more boats so that he can discover the mouth of the river. What LaSalle does not know is that the mighty Mississippi River does not just gush out into the Gulf of Mexico. Instead, it works its way around islands and swamps, through marshes and around jetties until it becomes the Gulf of Mexico. For this reason, LaSalle would sail right past the mouth of the river, not once, not twice, but 3 times in an effort to find the river. He would not be successful.
Dummy.
Instead, LaSalle would sail on to Texas, where he would establish a colony, which failed. His men got mad, they mutinied, shot LaSalle in the back, and walked back to Canada. It was not a good day.
Dang, that's a long walk.
The next 2 people to sail down the river are 2 brothers, Bienville and Iberville.
That's
They are
the
also
street
very
name.
interested in building a city on the river. However, before they can do that, they need to start naming stuff. Unfortunately, they are not very creative. They sail up the river, they find a large plot of land with a giant red stick sticking out of it, and they're going to call it Red Stick. Eventually, it will become known as Baton Rouge, the capital of Louisiana. As you can see, there are no cranes on the boats that would be used for moving equipment and supplies onto the dock or onto the boat. That's because these two boats have giant doors that fold down in the back, making it possible for anything that's needed on the boat to be driven directly into the belly of the beast. As emergency vehicles, these vehicles need to be ready to go anywhere in the world in 24 hours notice. You can find them all up and down the Atlantic coast, up and down the Pacific coast, all over the Gulf of Mexico, and up and down the Mississippi River. Vehicles such as these are generally owned and operated by the United States Navy. However, these two boats are operated by merchant marines. But since I have a microphone and the Navy does not, I'm going to say, go Army, beat Navy. It's a joke. One day the Navy's going to get a microphone and this is going to be a lot less fun. In 1800, Napoleon gets control over France. He wants a sugar empire. He's got Haiti, he needs New Orleans. So he tells Spain, give it back. And they do, because they didn't want us in the first place. In the meantime, Haiti stages a revolution. Haiti kicks all the French guys out, and Haiti becomes the first black independent nation in the Western Hemisphere. Now, Napoleon has got New Orleans and not Haiti. In the meantime, two gentlemen from Thomas Jefferson's cabinet are going to go all the way across the pond and tell Napoleon, look, we will give you $10 million if you give us New Orleans. And Napoleon, who is fighting fires everywhere and getting ready to do battle with Great Britain, says, for 15, you can have it all. And by all, I do mean all. 830 million acres, 560,000 square miles. It will double the size of the United States and give 15 states to the United States of America. We get it for 4 cents an acre. It is, of course, known as the Louisiana Purchase. And the document that bears its name will be signed by Napoleon in his bathroom while he takes a bath. And then again by Thomas Jefferson on April 30th, 1803. 9 years later, we will become the 18th state of the United States of America. And 2 months after that, we declare war on Great Britain. Again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look into I call it the old Holy Cross High School for reasons which should become abundantly apparent. The new Holy Cross High School has been moved several miles inland. However, this building, in fact, was absolutely decimated when Hurricane Katrina came through here, punched a hole in this levee right here, and filled St. Bernard Parish up with 15 feet of river water. The building has been left to stand, not only as a monument and a testament to the awesome power of Mother Nature and her ability to destroy what she sees fit, but also as a monument and a testament to the awesome power of man and his ability to get back up and move on, even in the face of absolute adversity.
You got the water? Oh, yeah.
On April 30th of 1812, we will become the 18th state of the United States of America. And 2 months after that, we declare war on Great Britain. You see, they have been conscripting our sailors. Now, what this means is that they are kidnapping them off of American ships and forcing them to work for the British, and the Americans are not happy. For the first year, nothing happens. Great Britain is very busy trying to defeat. You actually go back several miles. What you're looking at is actually the second floor. Those are galleries, not balconies. Galleries have poles and a roof. Balconies do not. Jackson Barracks is one of the lovelier barracks in the United States, in my opinion, and is open, at least partially, to tours. If you're interested, all you have to do is go on their webpage and set up a tour time. They have a very lovely library as well as an outdoor exhibit. Andrew Jackson is, of course, waiting for the British. The British know he's here. Jackson Sugar Factory. The big building right there with the giant yellow sign on it is not a working part of the factory. I know it looks a little blown out. The factory is actually everything that's before that. Domino's Sugar Factory produces 2 billion pounds of sugar every single year. That works out to be 7.63 million pounds of sugar every single day. As you can see, there are some barges sitting here in the water right next to the factory. There are cranes. They go down into the barges. They scoop up what looks like yellow sand. That is actually sugar in the raw. They load it into trucks and bring it into the factory where it is processed into white sugar, brown sugar, and confectionate sugar. So just in case you were wondering where all that sugar for your pralines and beignets comes from, here it is.
Domino's sugar right
I
there.
want you all to know we are doing our best to consume as much of that sugar as possible. So thank you for being here so that you can help us out with that. By the way, if you don't have any cavities or you're not diabetic, welcome to New Orleans. Taking a look in the river right now, you can see the cranes coming down into the barges. That is not sand, ladies and gentlemen. That is, in fact, sugar.
Wow, that's yellow.
Jackson is
Sugar?
waiting.
I was wondering
The
we could borrow
Brits are
some brown
waiting.
sugar.
Everybody's waiting to see who's going to fire the first shot. But Jackson has an ace up his sleeve. One that the Brits don't know anything about. And that ace is a
Taking
pirate.
pictures and videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just any pirate. This is not Johnny Depp. This is, in fact, the pirate of the
That's
Caribbean.
sugar right there.
This is
It's
Jean
yellow.
Lafitte.
It's sugar. It's raw
You want
sugar.
something? You want whiskey and rum? Lafitte is your man. You want arms
Loading
and
it in,
ammunition?
loading it
Lafitte
up,
is the pirate you're
getting
going to
ready to
ask.
fix it up.
And Lafitte is about to make it very difficult.
We are on our way to the battlefield. Some battlefield. I forgot what she said already. All this leaving the boat for just a minute. But we gotta be back on time. Our tour guide is up there. Woo! But when we get there, I'll cut you back on.
Field, my name is Dr. Lauren Tarantino. I was the tour guide on the boat. This is my friend, Ranger Amanda, and she is going to take it from here. But I do have a few things to tell you quickly. Not where you're standing, but we do have fire ants here in New Orleans and in southeast Louisiana. Not where you're standing. They are fine as long as you don't decide to just go traipsing through tall grass, okay? Second thing, right over here is what's left of that canal I was telling you about. It's probably no water in it right now, but it is very muddy and you will fall in it and it will not feel good. Please be careful where you step. The house is gorgeous. We can't go in. It is currently being restored, so if you come back and visit us in a few years, we can all go in there together. It'll be fun. Last but not least, and I already mentioned this, please don't fool with the moss. That's the stuff hanging down off the oak trees. Besides the fact that it's against the law, it's full of chiggers and fleas, and you won't be happy if you put that on you. If you have any other questions, come and let me know. If not, Amanda's going to take it from here. Thank you.
Hi y'all, I'm going to be taking y'all to more shade, but we have to walk on the sidewalk to get there. But there's shade, I promise. So y'all had a great tour by Dr. Lauren. Y'all know everything about the War of 1812 and how all that got down here? No? I wouldn't be paying attention, it is too hot too. But I'll make it super quick catch up. So we declared war on Great Britain in 1812 because they're kidnapping our sailors off of our ships. What that looked like is they captured an American ship on the high seas, they dragged everybody up on deck, and they said, you speak with a British accent. You deserted the Royal Navy, obviously, so we're gonna take you back. So they kidnapped 5,000 to 10,000 men that way.
Wow.
We didn't like it. They also were arming Native Americans who were resisting American expansion west, so giving them guns, that caused more trouble for us. Didn't like that either. Third thing is, Britain was busy fighting France, they were at war, so we thought we could sneak up to Canada, grab some land, and it'll be a quick and easy war. Canada wants to be American, obviously. We get more land, easy peasy. Problem with that is war is never quick, war is never easy, and we didn't take Canada. Canada's still Canada. We thought it was a great idea though. The first couple years of the war just dragged on near the Canadian border. We won some and they won some, but nothing really much happened until in 1814 in August, the worst possible thing happened for the United States is that Great Britain won against Napoleon. They could send their actual soldiers over here. One of the first things that army did when they got here was they burned down Washington, D.C. They burned the White House, ran the president out, ran Congress out, and everybody starts panicking because we don't have a real army. Not like today. We've mostly relied on militia, which is everyday guys given a gun, told you have to protect your home against the best army in the world. Good luck. That's what we had. We outnumbered the British forces 3-1 in DC, and we ran away anyway. Everyone panicked. Luckily for us, the British make a whole bunch of mistakes as things start heading down south, down to the Gulf of Mexico, because they stop in the Caribbean. Now what do we do in the Caribbean? Party and pirates, yes, those two things. So those guys get some well-deserved R&R. They start drinking those lovely rum cocktails they have down in the Caribbean, and they start talking to all the pirates, boasting that New Orleans is going to be the place they're going to hit next, which makes a lot of sense from the British point of view because it's totally unguarded. None of the fighting happened down here. And besides that, there's millions and millions of dollars of trade goods in 1800s money sitting on the dock waiting to be taken. One of the most important port cities then and now. If they control New Orleans, they control the Mississippi River, they control the economy of the United States, they could take the colonies back, or so they think. So they start sailing up the Gulf of Mexico. They start to realize this water is way too shallow for us to actually anchor our ships. We can't get close enough. So they have to anchor their ships at Ship Island and then row 60 miles across Lake Borgne. All their men, horses, cannons, ammunition, supplies, rations, everything. Then when they land, they realize that this place isn't warm like the Caribbean. It might be right now, but if you can imagine the same humidity but at freezing temperatures, that's what they got. And they would dress for the Caribbean. A lot of the troops they picked up there froze to death overnight. They weren't used to the climate at all. So they're camped out here for weeks in the mud. They think that since this is plantation country that they'd have food out in the fields to forage, but one, sugarcane plantation, can't really eat that. Two, mud, dead of winter. So they're out here, they're starving and they're cold. Not a good time to be British. Meanwhile, General Andrew Jackson's gotten word that he's to come down to New Orleans, protected at all costs, so he comes with about 1,000 volunteers from Tennessee. The British, about anywhere up to 10,000 men. So he's got to make up the rest of those numbers, so he gets the citizens of New Orleans. He ends up with 2 battalions of free men of color. One of the first times we see a black armed militia. We get 50 members of the Choctaw Nation. We get everybody speaking French, Spanish, Italian, German, stretched all across from the trees to the levee. And this is exactly where Jackson had his camp and formed his defenses. He had enslaved men from local plantations dig out that ditch we wanted you to not walk into a moat. 20 feet wide, several feet deep, and behind that, piled the mud. So if you just have a bunch of everyday guys, they're gonna feel a lot better protected by a moat and a wall. They're not gonna break and run. And they've got their buddies on either side of them.
Leaving the boat.
I don't know how many we had today.
We out.
Probably about 250.
Going to eat now, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Brother hungry. We've been in here for 6 hours. It's time to eat, time to get down. All right, YouTube, we are back. It's been a couple of days since we got back from New Orleans, so I'm just gonna end this video right here, man. Yeah, I need to shave. It's been a while. It's Wednesday. We got back Sunday, and it's Wednesday. Kids start school tomorrow. So like, comment, and subscribe to this video. I really appreciate you guys, and I won't be so rough looking the next time you see me. All right, peace.
I'm above the rim, ain't worried about them. My shorty exotic, and plus she all in. She told me I got it. so I double the profit. Go call me a Mozzie, then I scored off a lot. And it ain't gon' stop, still rolling at 5. Spent plenty of nights with tears in my eyes, don't kill my vibe, yeah. I heard Lil' Shorty been switching.